Hi guys, it is Monday, April 29th, 2024, and I'm here to do my April update. It's probably not going to be very long because I didn't do a whole lot of stitching this month. I think I've done like 600 stitches plus some back stitch that I didn't count. So there's not a lot of stitching to show. There's some stash, there's some plans. Yeah, it's probably not going to be very long, but there's categories. But I'll show you what I have. I have a finish. Um, since for the first time since September. The last thing I finished was Cabin Fever back in September, but I had a finish last week, so I'll show you that and my little bit of stitching. Um, April was not a great stitching month, clearly. Um, I don't even know what happened. Like, I didn't. Um, I didn't stitch. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Um, I kept saying I'm going to, and I didn't. I did some other stuff, and we'll talk about some of that. But let me show you my stitching first, and I'll show you my finish. Um, so I only worked on 2 projects besides my finish. One of them was this one. This is Dinah's the Trick and the Treat by Prairie Moon. And what I did on this one is I did all of these little motifs down here at the bottom. This is the piece that I'm dividing into 12 sections to finish it by the end of the year. And the April section was all these little motifs down here. This is February right here that I haven't done. And March is down here. But for April, I just did these little motifs. I need to catch up. So there's that. The fabric is 32 count flopper by Picture This Plus. And I think this was 250 something stitches. I think it was less than 300. Did I put it on for how much it was? I'm a little bit sneezy today. It was, no, I didn't put it on here. Oh. No, I didn't put it on here how much it was, but wait, maybe it's on here. 232 stitches. So that's that. And then the other thing that I did that I stitched on was, I'll show this to you because you're less likely to know what this looks like. The other thing that I stitched on was Travel Memories by Dimensions Gold Collection Petites. And my counter says that I did 378 stitches, which means it was more like 750 stitches or 800 stitches because a lot of it is half stitching. I think I did some full stitches, but there was a lot of half stitching, so. But I made some good progress on this one. This one is starting to come together, and I'm really happy with it. You can see right here, you can kind of see where the Eiffel Tower is starting to take shape, or if you're Shannon, the Avengers A. And there's the other letter right here. That's the edge of it. So it's under the butterfly. So it's starting to come together. It's starting to take shape. So I'm happy with that. Um, so those were both for categories. And then I had pulled out a female arts to do for categories, and I didn't stitch on it. It's been sitting here for a couple of days, like 5 days, I think. I don't know. I pulled it out a few days ago. I didn't stitch on it. Today I was cleaning up some stuff and moving some stuff around, and I put it away. And I haven't stitched on it. So I haven't finished my categories. I haven't done a lot of stitching. I was going to do a new start. And at first I told myself I would do it when I finished my project. And then I told myself I had to finish my categories first. I finished my project, but I haven't finished my categories. I haven't done my new start. So, my finish. So last weekend was, today's April 29th. So last weekend, the weekend of the 21st, I think, was 24 hours of cross stitch. And I had set the goal. I took Friday off work. I guess the 19th. And I had set the goal that I wanted to finish this over 24 hours across this weekend. I didn't quite make it, but I took it to work on Monday. I had to work in the office on Monday. I took it to work, and I decided that I was going to spend my entire lunch hour working on it because I had a bunch of little odds and ends to clean up. You know, I had some ninja stitches that I needed to pick up. I needed to do a little bit of detail work and a little bit of back stitch, and you know, I'm like, I have all of these little tasks that I need to do, and I'm just going to spend my entire lunch hour trying to finish these, because then the only thing I would need to do after that is the French knots, and I could do that when I got home. And I could eat after lunch or before lunch, but I cannot stitch after lunch. Like, I'm like, I can put off eating because I can eat after lunch is over. If I stitch after lunch, I'm going to get in trouble. So I spent my whole hour. I finished all the little tasks that I needed to do. It took the entire hour. I got home. There were 2 sets of French knots. I decided that I asked some friends. I said, does this really need this? And they said no. So I decided I'm only doing the one, because the one, I'm like, I felt like I need to do those. That needs it. The other one, I'm not doing it. It doesn't need it. I'm leaving it the way it is. So it took me like the hour at lunchtime. It took me less than an hour when I got home to do those French knots. And I finished my, and that's the back of my. See the back? She's a mess. There's the front of my. She looks a lot better. So this is my by Dimensions Gold Collection Petites. And I left off the background because I stitched her on blue, so the background didn't really look as good as it did on white. It looks fantastic on the white. It didn't look the same on the blue. And I started her in 2003, I think. I did like 200 stitches. And then I picked her up again last year. Around this time last year, like March or April. This was the project I had divided into 12 last year, and I was supposed to finish it by the end of the year, and I didn't. But I finished it this week, so there she is, and she's beautiful. She needs a bath. I'm gonna give her a bath. I think maybe tomorrow. I gotta go in the office tomorrow, so I think maybe tomorrow on the way home from work, I'm gonna stop and see if I can get a frame for her. Those Gold Collection Petites are sized to fit in a 5x7 frame, which is fantastic for cost, because you can buy a store-bought frame. So maybe I'll stop tomorrow and see if I can get a frame for her. So there she is. There's my girl. And that's my finish. I have a basket right here, the basket that my floss is in, and it has a handle, and so I just sort of tuck the top of my into the handle, and it, like, you know, it displays it. It's like a makeshift display. It works. Um, so that's all I really stitched. I haven't done a lot of stitching. Um, I've done some shopping. Well, I have done some shopping. We also have plans. Let's talk about categories. Now, these are plans. When I come back at the end of May, there's no guarantee I'm going to have done any of this. I'll probably have done some of it. I'm going to make an attempt to do the categories for May. I might even make an attempt to finish the categories for April. We'll see. So, May categories, closest to a finish. I'm going to show these to you. Closest to a finish. Is going to be Come Stitch by Mill Hill. And really all I have done is the white part of the two parts of the sign. I don't think I've started any of the flowers. I don't think I've started anything. And actually, I may not even have finished the top part of the sign. But I've done most of the white in the sign. And if I really focused on this one, I could finish this one. It's a Mill Hill. It's not hard. Probably if I gave it a weekend, I could finish it. And I think that's going to be the goal. I think I want to try to finish it. Sal. My Sal piece is going to be Poppy by Nora Corbett. This was Vic Gable's Stitch and Button. This was her birthday stitch along in 2020. Show you where I am on her. This is where I am on her. So I'm going to try to put some more stitches in her. I'm trying to finish her. So I'm trying to fit her into categories whenever I can. Has words. I'm going to use Light as a Trick in that for that. Because it has the word Halloween, it has the word eek, it has a few words on it. What else do we have here? Flora and fauna. I'm going to use Travel Memories because it has the butterfly, which counts as fauna. And then pattern older than 2013. Oh, the reason why I chose this, I'm like, there's a reason why I chose this. The reason why I chose this is because it coincides with WIPGO. My WIPGO picks for this for May were Illuminated Manuscript and Greta Goldberg. And so I'm going to use Illuminated Manuscript for pattern published before 2023. This was published like in 1991. And I did like 1,100 stitches on it last year, and I haven't touched it in probably about a year. So I'm going to stitch on it, and I think Elma's going to stitch on hers too. And we will show that a little bit of love. So those are the categories. I'm not promising anything. I don't know. I do want to do my new start still. I want to start, and I'm almost sure she doesn't watch my channel. Because I don't think she really knows how to use YouTube that well. But I want to start Happy Birthday by Blackbird and give it to my friend for her birthday. This is the one I told myself I can start it when I finish my categories. But her birthday's at the end of July, so I need to get moving. So that's the one that I want to start. And then my friend Holly and I. So Sammy at Sammy J Stitches did 2 lives last week. She did one on YouTube on Tuesday afternoon, and then she did one on YouTube and Twitch on Thursday night. And I think it was on one on Thursday night where Holly was talking about starting Miss Abalonia. Do I have a picture of Miss Abalonia? Do I have a picture of Miss Avalonia? I should. This was a market release. Here she is. This is Avalonia's Apple Tree by the Artsy Housewife. It came out at National Market last month, and Holly and I are talking about starting that. So I might do that. And during the live, Sammy was talking about how she's trying to limit her new starts. I said, I'm not doing very well at that this year. And she's like, well, if starting stuff will help you bring back your stitchy bag, go for it. So, I don't know. We'll see. So those are plans. Is, you know, we'll see what actually happens. What else I've been doing? So in my last video, in my March video, I was talking about Take Your House Back and the All Day Declutter, which was on Saturday, the day before yesterday. And the All Day Declutter is fantastic. It's so much fun. I mean, it's a lot of work. Like, don't have me lying to you. It's a lot of work. But the three ladies who do Take Your House Back, Dawn and Dana and Cass, they're on YouTube Live for 8 hours, and Cass is hysterical. Cass did the first hour, and she was talking about how your stuff is not a cat that you have to rehome and you have to find a good home for it. Your stuff is inanimate. It doesn't have feelings. Like, it's not, its feelings aren't going to be hurt if you throw it in the trash. Like, why are you, and she said your stuff is like squatting in your house. It's taking up space and demanding that you take care of it, and preventing you from using your space, and you're letting it, like, control you. It was hysterical. I mean, she's right, like, but I was cracking it. She's great. So I had decided I was going to go through my cross stitch. And so the event starts at 8 a.m. Central Time. I'm on Pacific Time, so I got my butt out of bed at 6 a.m. And at 6:36 a.m., I posted a picture in my group chat with Sammy and some other stitching friends of a chart that I had found doubles of. Apparently, I really like this chart. It's my big toe chart. And somebody said maybe that's a sign you need to start it. Possibly. But so I went through all of the charts and kits that were in the cabinet, and I picked out the ones, like, these are the ones, and I talked about this too in the March video, and I talked about it last summer. These are the ones that, like, why haven't I started this? I really want to stitch this. Why haven't I started this? And then there were the ones that I want to stitch this. Not as much as why haven't I started it, but I still want to stitch this. And so I kind of just kept sifting through everything, and I ended up with this big pile on the floor, but I eventually sifted through everything, what I'm going to keep, what I'm going to donate. There's some stuff that's worth some money that I'm probably going to put up for sale. It was really hard to admit some of the stuff. It was hard to admit that some of the stuff I'm not going to stitch. Like, I have some Dimples design stuff. I'm not going to stitch it. Like, some of it I kept. Some of it I didn't see, and I think there's still another box somewhere. I think I'm missing some stuff. And it could be that I did see it and I forgot. It could be in there. I don't know, but I was like, wait, I didn't. And some of it I found, but some of it I'm like, I think there's still some stuff missing. So I don't know where it went to. Maybe it's in there and I just forgot. I don't know. But some of it was hard to admit, like, I'm not going to stitch this. So I eventually got through all that. I have some baskets right here next to me of the stuff that comes, like Plum Street and Silver's Creek samplers and stuff that comes in that half chart size, and little kits and things that come like in smaller packaging. And if I put them in there with the full-size charts, they're going to get lost. So I have some baskets here, and I went through all that. And Dana says, put your favorite things in first. Because I decided my container was going to be the bottom shelf of my cabinet, these 2 baskets, and one of the drawers in the cabinet. So I have these 2 baskets, and so Friday night I went through them both, and I put all my favorite things. Like if I had to choose, these are the things that I would keep first, I put those in one basket. And then when I was going through the cabinet, I pulled out some of that smaller stuff that had been in the cabinet, and I pulled it out and pulled it over here. And on Saturday, I went through all of it together, and I put some stuff in donate. So I have these 2 baskets of smaller stuff. Today, I had, when they did the construction on my apartment in November, I had put some stuff in this big bin that I got from Walmart, like just like big Rubbermaid tote that was in my closet. And since I thought there was stuff missing, I'm like, let me pull out that bin and see if the stuff is in there. And it wasn't. But what was in there is the stuff that I was putting in this drawer, which are these small Christmas kits like Mill Hill and Dimensions, and just like small ornament kits and other Christmas stuff that I had set aside and put in that drawer. Which I thought, I was surprised to find that stuff in there because I thought I had that stuff. I thought that stuff was in a plastic bag that I already had. But actually what's in that plastic bag is the Mill Hill kits from when I did my Mill Hill stash video last year. So, so there's been a lot of shifting stash around, and I have 2 boxes of donate stuff, and I went through that bin today, and I got rid of a bunch of stuff. Like I had some paint, and I had some just sewing stuff that I'm never going to use. Some of it went in donate, some of it went in the trash. I don't sew. I found my sulky thread in there. I found a bunch of knitting needles, a bunch of crochet hooks, most of which went in donate because I don't knit and I hardly ever crochet. I kept a set of crochet hooks. I kept a set of letter crochet hooks, and I kept a set of thread crochet hooks. But everything else, all the knitting needles went in donate, which was, that was hard because those were my grandmother's knitting needles. And it's one of the few things that I got from my grandmother after she passed. My cousins got most of it. I got very little of it. But I don't knit. And, and they're the old school long metal knitting needles. And as an outsider who only, sees people who knit, it seems like knitting has largely moved beyond that. Like people are using circular needles and using bamboo needles. And it seems like those just long, straight metal needles have kind of, knitting has moved past that. And I offered them to some friends and they didn't want them. And so I donated those. I had some other old magazines and old booklets and stuff that belonged to my grandmother from the 60s and 70s. And I got rid of those too. I ended up throwing those out because nobody wants them. Like, I looked up one of the little booklets. There's a little Learn to Knit booklet from Coats and Clark. They go for like $2 on eBay. Like, nobody wants them. Nobody's crocheting stuff from the 1970s. And if you want to learn to knit, there's YouTube. Like, so I felt bad because they're my grandmother's, but I'm not going to use them. I've been hanging on to them, but it's just time to let them go. So most of it went in the trash. And so I still have to go through fabric. I had a box of fabric, but I found some more fabric that had come out of that cabinet in November or October. So I still need to go through my fabric. I think I'm gonna weed out my project bags. I need to go through my magazines, and I need to go through my floss. I need a better system for storing floss. The system that I I was thinking about this last night and kind of analyzing what about it works for me and what part doesn't. Um, so I have it sorted by number series, and I have each number series in a Ziploc bag, and I have all the Ziploc bags in this basket. The part of it that works for me is that it's sorted by number series. So if I need a color, I can go to the bag, oh, I need 838. I can go into the bag that has the 800s and very quickly tell, do I have 838 or not? So that part of it works for me because I used to have it all in one box, all mixed together, and that didn't work because it was too hard to find anything. And I used to go buy floss rather than have to sift through all this big box and try to find stuff. So I sorted it all by number series, and that makes it easier. What I don't like about it is it's bulky and it's kind of messy, and the bags don't stay in order, and it's just like, and I'm not great, and I mean, I'm not that great about keeping it up. Like, floss tends to pile up, and at some point I'll go in there and sort it all back out. One of the things I did on Saturday, and even before Saturday, was I unkitted a couple of projects that I decided, you know what, I'm not going to stitch this. One of them was a Haid that I don't love full coverage, and so I decided to unkit that project. I'm not going to stitch it. So now I got a bunch of floss that needs to be resorted, and I'm like, I need to come up with a better system for storing floss, and maybe something that'll be easier for me to keep up with. So I don't know, but so I still have some more sorting stash to do. I think I'm gonna do fabric next. My fabric is down here. Yeah. In somewhat related news, Vic at Stitch and Benton is coming out here in a couple weeks to visit, and I'm so excited. So she'll probably help me with some of it. So I'm so excited to see her. It'll be fun. So that's largely what I've been doing, at least this past few days. And, you know, I've been doing stuff here and there, you know, cleaning up my kitchen, and I talked about this in the March video too. Cleaning up my kitchen and trying to get my house under better control, and I'm making progress. And other than that, I can't even tell you like what I've been doing, like why I haven't been stitching. I've been doing some of that, but I've been doing a lot of like scrolling my phone. I don't know. Maybe May will be better. Stash. I have stash. In fact, this just came today, and it's right on top here, so I'm going to show you first. This I got from Sammy at Tiny Hummingbird. And again, I talked about this last month. There's some people who, there's a lady in the Mirror groups who stitched all of Nora Corbett's Christmassy couriers together in one, like in a 3x3 square. And some of my friends decided they wanted to do that. So Sammy is offering one of these a month in the Tiny Hummingbird group. And if you want it, join the group. She'll get you the beads, she'll get you the specialty thread, she'll get you whatever you want. I'm only getting the charts. I'm not sure that I'm going to participate, but I'm like, let me get the chart. So last month I got Dasher, and this month I got Dancer. So, Christmas Eve Couriers Dancer by Nora Corbett. So, if you're interested, go join Tiny Hummingbird. She'll be glad to get you whatever you want. The Homespun Needlework group, I got this, I think, the day that I did my video, like after I did my video, very quickly after I did my last video, or a couple of days later, whatever. This was one of the exclusives in the Homespun Needlework group. This is from Stacy Nash. And this is the first one of hers that I've actually bought. I think this is the fourth one she's done for them, and 2 of them I passed on. One of them I bought when it was released later. I didn't buy the kit, but I bought the chart when it was released later. But this one I thought was, because the ones by her seem like particularly expensive. But this one I got. This one didn't seem overly expensive. And so this is the Rosehill Farm Sampler by Stacy Nash Primitives. And I got that from the Homespun Needlework. It'll probably be released in about a year. It'll probably be released at Market next year. Or at Expo or something. So I got that. They've since put out, they did the exclusive, I think when I did my last video, it was getting ready to be released that week. The From the Art Needle Art by Wendy. When I skipped over that one. I didn't care for that one that much. I skipped that one. And this week they're getting ready to release one from Wilstyra Snaps. Christina at Wilstyra Snaps. So I'm excited to see what that one is. This was something else that I had ordered, but I don't think I showed it in my last video. And if I did, you're seeing it again. I think it wasn't here yet when I made my last video. I got these on Stash. I got this on Stash Unload. Moonlight Visitor from Blackbird Designs. I found this on Etsy at a not crazy price. Stars and Stripes by Blackbird. Actually, the price was so not crazy that I think it may have been reprinted, or I don't know why the price wasn't crazier. Or it may be in a book or something. I don't know, but I've been wanting this one, so I was glad to find it and not like $100. I got that one. I placed an order for 123 Stitch to kit up the Happy Birthday one that I want to start. And somebody showed this, their finish of it, on one of the sampler groups, and I was like, ooh, me please. And so I added this to my order. This is Harriet Haslin by Eileen Bennett. And it says, work by Harriet Haslin, born in the state of Massachusetts, August 17th, 1856. By humility and the fear of God are riches, honor, and life. So, I do not know what thread that is. I participated in the Friday Night Fight Night on Stitch Me, and I got, this is 28 count Lugana in Flower Patch. These don't really come through that well, but it's like purple and blue and pink, maybe a little bit of green, or it might be green rather than blue. And this is also 28 count Lugana. This is Sunflower, which is gorgeous, and I have no idea what I'm going to put on it, but it's like sunflower yellow, and it's beautiful. And I got that. And this, admittedly, there was a fair amount of FOMO involved in this, because I'm a lemming. So, Hobby House Needleworks has this exclusive chart that the designer said she's not reprinting. Hobby House is the only one that has the rights to it. And I don't know if I'm going to stitch it. Like, I'm not like, oh yeah, I need to stitch that. But I haven't ruled it out. I might stitch it. Like, I'm open to the idea of stitching it. But I got it because FOMO. This is Florence Mary Dickinson by Hands Across the Sea. So I got that. And I was surprised, like, it's like a book. Like, when I got the package, it was really heavy, and I'm like, what did they put in here? I was expecting it to be like a chart pack, and it's like a book. But I'm sure Hands Across the Sea, it has all kinds of information about Florence and about whatever. So I got that, and I think that's all. So I finished my. She had been my work project. I was kind of chipping away at the back stitch on her. I took Tetelestai to work on Tuesday. I finished mine on Monday. I took Tetelestai on Tuesday. If you remember last year, at some point last summer or last fall, I don't know when it was, I had discovered that I needed to do a lot of frogging on Tetelestai. So I took that to work, and I've been frogging it. I should finish the frogging tomorrow. I'm almost done. And then after that, in fact, this is something I should do tonight. After that, I think I'm gonna reach over here and grab this because it's right here. Oops, I just knocked a bunch of stuff on the floor. My problem child, one of my problem children, my 70% completed Haid Fairy, is going to be my next work project because she's a problem child and work is a fantastic place for problem children. But what I need to do before I take her is I need to get on my tablet and I need to match up my pattern keeper with my stitching and then transfer that to my phone because I'm not taking my tablet to work. I'll work off my phone at work. So she's going to be my work project for a little bit, see if I can get some momentum on her and get some progress towards finishing her. She only needs about 3,000 stitches. Like, she's not that far from being done. She only needs like 3,000 stitches, so I need to finish her. So this is The Littlest Fairy by Selena Fennick, which was recently retired because drama at Haid. But there she is. So she'll be my work project. I was thinking about asking my friends to vote between this and my old EGA project, and I decided there was no point because they're all going to vote for the fairy. So I'll just take the fairy, and she's on my list to finish this year. She needs to get done, so I'm just going to take her, and we're going to try to move forward on her and get her done. So that's all for me, I think. Yeah, hopefully May will be better. I don't know. Vic will be here for a few days, and that'll be fantastic. And she'll kick my butt if I don't do some stitching or something. I don't know. Have y'all met Vic? So I don't know. Anyway, that's all for me. I'll see you guys next month. Happy stitching. Bye.